So, leaving a legacy is not just for the wealthy and the popular, the known people. All of us can leave a legacy. So, let's talk to our next speaker and find out what that means.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
All right, Giant Builders, welcome. I am so glad you're here. And I just have a quick question for you. Have you liked our social medias yet? If you have, please leave a comment about this episode with Jessica because I'm sure you're going to have lots of things to share. So today's guest is Jessica Koch. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, great. Well, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, what I do has changed throughout the years. I think we go on this path of transforming, which I think it's been really fun for me to see what's the next unfolding thing. Our foundation is sales and marketing consulting, which I still do quite a bit of, social media training, which again, I'm still asked to do. And then we started a virtual assistant membership program probably 7 or 8 years ago. And so we still have a strong team of VAs that help our clients do the back office stuff. We're about to have our 10-year birthday party of our podcast that we've run. We've interviewed over 1,000 guests globally, and we reach about 80,000. That's so conservative, and I should really update that number. But that's called Profound Professionals. So people who improve someone's personal life or help someone grow their business. And that's led us into a legacy community where we're beginning to meet twice a month and really have conversations about living your best life now so you can inspire others later, living your most abundant, financially stable and abundant life now so that you can leave generational wealth for your community and your family, and just having a legacy plan and having those kinds of conversations for the bigger picture and longer impact. It's wonderful to transform someone's life now or to do something great. I know so many great speakers and authors and people who are doing amazing things in the world and helping so many, but there's so many more that they'll be able to help long after they're gone if they have a plan. So just building a community of experts around the concept of doing great things now, but also thinking about and having conversations and masterminds and networking on how do we make that really long term.
Yeah, I like that word legacy, because I think that often I only think of like the really rich people use that word because they're the only ones that are going to leave a legacy, but we all can leave a legacy.
Everybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more than just the money.
It's also the story, the art, the history, the people, the grandma's quilt, Aunt Sally's recipe. There's just so much to it, but how do you preserve it? And how do you teach the next generation to preserve it and pass it on? There's an educational piece that goes here too, with both the history and the story as well as money. The money can continue for many generations. There's some generations that saw their wealth in the 1900s, like the Rockefeller families, but not just them, many others that are approaching 200 years of generational wealth passed on because it was set up correctly. And the next generations teach the next generations coming how to maintain it and what the rules are and how to keep the money coming and replenishing, and so that they have opportunities for creativity and different life choices than people who aren't set up that way. And how cool would it be if many more of our families and communities were set up with that resource at
Yeah,
the beginning?
that would be nice. So what
Wouldn't
are
that
some tips that you would give, just maybe especially for entrepreneurs to figure out how to do this or how to buy back time or
Well, in our community, there's a lot of really creative investing. I mean, there's so many ways to invest in real estate. There's also passive revenue and ways to grow your money. But one of the more important things too is, being the best version of you. So making sure there's all kinds of coaches and mindset people in our community that talk about how to find your passion, your purpose if you don't know what it, I mean, I feel so blessed that I have so much clarity on what I want to do for the remainder of my life and what I want it to look like long after I'm gone. I mean, I know where I want to be, what I want to do, the adventures I want to have. Like I have so much of it planned out. And of course, best laid plans of mice and men, right? Those things will change, but I have a direction, desire, thoughts, and dreams, and I've got them organized, and I know what the budget's going to be. And there's just so much you can do I think it's starting with knowing what you want. And for some people, that's so hard. And for me, I can't even imagine because I know exactly what I want, you know? So I think start there. The very best place to start is at the beginning of that yellow brick road and figure out what it is that you do want. And then just know along the path and along the way, you'll pick up friends, you'll pick up partners, you'll pick up collaborators, just like Dorothy and her amazing adventure, right? You'll pick up resources and tools and things and directions will change. And maybe even your end destination isn't the Emerald City. It turns out to be the Diamond City, you just some of it's I think the biggest thing for me, two things. Let's make it simpler because I'm wordy, an Italian girl who talks a lot. Two things is figure out what it is you really want.
Okay.
And then as you go on your journey, feel where you are. As long as it still feels good, keep going. And when it doesn't feel good, then make an adjustment and figure out what that adjustment needs to be based on how you feel. There's something about feelings are the most powerful manifestors. They're the most powerful. I think our emotions are really, really smart and they're tied to a compass of what is meant for us, what was designed and meant for us, and what brings us the most joy and love. If you have joy, love, and gratitude, and you feel peace, then your compass direction is probably okay. And if it isn't, then it might need a pause, and you might need to pause and adjust it.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah. Gratitude is definitely, I think gratitude refeeds your soul. It kind
Mm-hmm.
of gives it more inspiration, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think infusing gratitude, joy, and love in everything you do, that's like the three-pronged rope, right? It's a stronger rope when you have those three things bound together in it. And I believe the clarity will come after, especially if you listen. So I guess that would be part three. Take moments of time to listen, just quiet, sit in the quiet, whether you're spiritual or whatever it is you do, meditate, pray, whatever the thing is, sitting in the quiet and listening and then capturing what you hear. Because
Mm.
sometimes what you're hearing or feeling will dissipate like my kids call them wish puffs or like a dream when you first wake up. You have it for a second and it's gone. You really need to one I often my husband laughs at me, but I'll sit in a mostly dark room. It's all not pitch black, but mostly dark. And I'll have a pad of paper and a pen in my lap. And he's like, "Don't you want me to turn the light on so you can write?" No, no. I need to hear the words. I need to meditate and pray. And then as it comes, I'll scribble it out. It looks like the writing in my notepads remind me of people who, say a spirit will take hold of their hand and they'll just
Yeah.
scribble out, it reminds me of that. But I'm not sure it's quite that. It's just that I'm in the dark and I'm scribbling away at the
Uh-huh.
ideas and thoughts and things that come because you have to grasp them. And then you have to filter those, right? You have to figure out some things are later and some things are right now and some things are soon. And, you have to figure out where they fit, or sometimes they're just, you have to let yourself hear and feel whatever it is. And sometimes it's, crazy funny,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So at least that's what's working for me.
Well, that's great. I didn't think that sitting in a dark room is better than where I was the other day. I was driving and I found myself in deep thought and
Mm,
went three exits past my one that I was supposed to get off at. And it was like, Oh man.
Well, driving is another place where you get into that space in your
Hmm.
subconscious where you have these powerfully creative ideas and clarity and vision. And the safest thing is to make sure you have a recording app on your phone and
Yeah.
just talk it out
Yeah.
as you matter of fact, I was driving years and years ago, long before I started my own business and long before I even knew what the words meant, and there was I remember the road and the bluest sky looked almost like it was fake, like the TV or a movie had made it because it was
Uh-huh.
so brilliantly beautifully blue with white puffy clouds. And I don't know if I heard it or saw it or felt it, but seed to orchard came to me. And that has become a part of our tagline of, expanding, for both
Mhm.
legacy and growth and sales. And, seed to orchard is kind of the concept of, sell more, spend less, and you really can't tend an orchard with your own two hands. You need a team.
Yeah.
So, and an orchard also creates legacy long after the original one first seed was planted.
Mhm.
And just the magnification of what one seed can do to bring it to life a tree full of fruit that yields many seeds each fruit, and just trying to do that math makes my head spin. So that just has become a big part of my life. But when it first came to me in that car, I had no idea why or how it was going to fit into my world or what it even meant. But I hung on to it for a long time.
Well, that's cool. Which, yeah, that would bring me into a question about your VAs because that's a perfect
Mhm.
way of using your time better and wiser. I mean, how do you connect people with what they, or what would you suggest that people use a VA for?
Well, I start with my clients when we meet in our onboarding calls. And one of the things I ask them is, what in your business does a couple of things? It brings you the most money,
Mhm.
it brings you the most joy, that when you're serving your clients, and it's easiest to deliver, and it doesn't always need 100% of you. Because if we can find that three-pronged magic formula,
Mm.
then the micro actions behind getting more clients, that you can serve them with that service because it brings you the most amount of money, the most joy, and it's easiest for you to deliver, then those micro tasks behind getting more clients for that particular service is what we suggest that we focus on. Now, our clients often have an idea of something too that they just wish they'll never have to face or look at again. And mine is email. I do
Yeah.
not want to check my email. I do not check my email. I have not checked my email for eons. I mean, I go in there from time to time, and then I'll have one of my team members who does check the email ask me about how to respond to something. But
Mhm.
she's been doing it for so long, 90% of the stuff. I mean, there's only so
Yeah.
many things people email you about, right?
Yeah.
She knows how to answer, and it's still a custom private answer, but she knows the framework of how to reply, and that leaves me free to do other things that I do like to do.
Things
So,
that would bring in money. So tell me, what would a first meeting look like with you if somebody were going to hire you for, I mean, you have so many services. Where would I start?
well, we do have a lot of things we offer, and usually people something perks their ears, and they're coming for that reason. Like you said, legacy is really a word that isn't being used a lot in communities as far as a plan or a conversation or a mastermind and a networking community. So, people hear that, they want to learn more. And usually I have my version of a one-on-one, which is a small, intimate group getting to know you call. And people will come and we'll talk about how we can collaborate or how they can get involved in that. And then some people perk right up with, okay, I've tried the VA 100 ways. I've tried hiring myself. I have one. I don't know what to do with them. I don't, I had one, they disappeared. I heard you had an agency, and then they'll talk to me about that. And I have really more organizations and entities and larger things that reach out to me for our sales and marketing consulting. I get some government, I get paid by some government organizations that have grant funding and
Mhm.
federal funding to pay me to help with marketing plans and business plans. So I get personally introduced to those people. I recently had a job source reach out to me to have me design a LinkedIn training for their program that they're going to purchase. And, so I think it depends on, whether you're talking about my locals, entrepreneur, small business solopreneur kind of community, which I do a lot of work with, or if you're talking about some of because I work with the large Fortune 100 as 1,000 and also a lot of the government entities throughout the country. And my early career was keynote speaking. Right now, I'm not doing a lot of speaking unless it's local or regional because I'm waiting for my youngest to get out of high school. I don't want to miss a minute, but I
Yeah.
still do get invited to keynote and to speak at different organizations as well. So, I do a lot, but I think that it depends on. I get a lot of referrals, so that I think that that's where someone normally starts. They usually hear me speak on something specific,
Mhm.
and it perks their ears up because it's a need or an issue for them at the moment.
Well, tell me about your podcast.
The podcast we're going to have our 10-year birthday. It's called Profound Professionals. We interview people who help improve someone's personal life or grow someone's business. And we're also a lot about, passive revenue, creative investing, different accesses to leverage the work that money can do for us. And so that's exciting to have guests that are, living that kind of lifestyle.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of fun. And then, everything starts between our ears. So we've had lots of mindset and health and, other kinds of experts that are really focusing on helping the individual, be the best version of themselves and find joy and peace and their purpose. And because then you're able to, I feel like if you grow your business and you have access to tons of resources, then
Mhm.
you have time to work on yourself and you have a different opportunity to up level the best version of you. And then if you up level and focus on the best version of you, I believe your business grows and your resources and wealth grows. So I think no matter which you decide to focus on, one or the other, they end up working together. And that's why we've always featured guests on both sides because it has an impact. They have an impact on each other. I mean, we're a whole person. It's all connected, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
we'll
I
all have links to those and all your other resources below. So any closing thoughts?
Let's see. I'd say that whatever is makes your heart sing and you're passionate about is a beautiful gift for you. But it has an opportunity to be a beautiful gift for someone 50, 75, 100 years from now who comes across your poetry, your song, your work, your video. I just watched a Napoleon Hill video in black and white that was recorded in the old school way.
Oh, oh, that's cool.
I found it on YouTube and it totally inspired me. So whatever it is that you have going on, you have an opportunity to enjoy the gifts of it for yourself as well as bring that gift to others. And I hope many others that potentially you'll never get to meet or not until much later on a different plane of existence, possibly. And they'll get to tell you how amazingly you and your passion and gift impacted their life. I feel like there's no greater reward than that.
Oh, yeah, that is a good reward. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and just inspiring us to be legacy leavers. That's really
Mhm.
cool. So, all right, giant builders, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.